Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about a little announcement that Brittany Dawn had to make. She is, as I predicted, entering the realm of family vlogging, becoming a mommy influencer, and I had quite a few thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so we're all familiar with Brittany Dawn. She needs no intro on my channel, but this topic, it's sort of funny how, I'll randomly talk about influencers that are not family vloggers, and then as time goes on, they all enter the realm of family vlogging because they just don't have that hard stop on protecting their kids. And while some of them might, most of them share their kids with the world. And I just think it's funny how those two things can collide so easily. Brittany Dawn, historically, obviously she wasn't a family vlogger because she hasn't had kids, but she decided to post on Instagram, and I'll throw it right here for you guys, that she and Jordan have been keeping a secret from everyone and they are entering the foster journey. So her post says, "A secret we've been keeping for the past 4 months. We are becoming foster parents. We are stepping into the foster to adopt program in just a few short months. The biggest blessing of an open door we've ever walked through, and we can't wait to see what the Lord has in store." Obviously, she's getting some support from her fellow, evangelical Christian influencer followers. But as we've seen in the past, she also polices her comments section like it's her full-time job, because God forbid anyone come in there and actually, present a valid argument against her, or nobody should try to give her any criticism or any kickback for all the bad things that she's done, like scamming people or allowing her husband to shoot her dog in the head and kill it instead of getting it proper medical care or proper end-of-life care. And she just won't allow those comments through. So once in a while you might see one, but typically her comment section is short and nothing but praise. But I wanted to talk about this from the stance of, is she going to become the next Myka Stauffer? Is this going to erupt in everyone's face? I hope that it doesn't, obviously. I hope that it's a really amazing thing. But unfortunately, Brittany Dawn has shown historically that she is in the business of making money by any means necessary. It doesn't matter if she's scamming you, if she's lying to you, if she's exploiting religion. It doesn't matter if she's baptizing people in a hotel bathroom. It doesn't matter if she's selling tickets so that you can come and listen to her preach, even though she's not a damn pastor. So either way, she's in the business of making money by any means necessary. Now, typically that would just be something that I would give commentary on, but as soon as a child enters the picture, that's where we have a much more serious discussion on our hands. Now, because I've covered the Doherty Dozen, I've obviously covered Myka Stauffer. I've also covered the failed adoption with Nikki and Dan, where they realized that they couldn't put the kid on social media, so they completely bailed on adopting a child, which is so gross. But Brittany and Jordan, first of all, let's talk about their history of taking care of pets. I heard something a long time ago, and it said, if you want to know what kind of parent someone's going to be, give them a puppy or give them a dog. I think that makes sense for so many different reasons. And before everyone gets, extra salty, I'm not saying that a puppy is the same as an infant, but I think that they both carry a great deal of responsibility. And I think a lot of times people discount the responsibility that it is to have a puppy. And both of them can be extremely expensive. Both of them need a lot of time, attention, patience, and, money, obviously. So both of them, there's some parallels between the two. If you want to know what kind of parent someone's going to be, look at how they treat their dog. Look at how they raise a puppy. If we're going to take that logic and apply it to Brittany Dawn, she's been a terrible pet owner. She has abandoned animals. She has gotten rid of animals as soon as they become inconvenient. She's also neglected their care by not putting them in the house, allowing the dog to run into the middle of the road, and then instead of handling the situation, she allowed her husband to kill the dog. And she's just been completely reckless. Like, I would not trust her watching my pet rock, if I'm being honest. There's no way I would trust her with anything. And I'm not parent shaming her because of something really silly. This is actually, if we're going to go off that track record, her track record sucks. And that's based on facts. So the other thing I want to talk about is, if we're going to take the pet thing out of it, let's talk about who they are as people. Jordan was, a former police officer who slammed a black man to the ground instead of taking him under arrest like a police officer should. He decided to get extremely violent, and that was a whole disgusting situation on its own. Then we have Brittany Dawn with the scamming. Then we have her with the exploiting religion. So even if we're not going to talk about the pet aspect of it, they're both people who have terrible qualities. They have terrible foundations. She's constantly shaming people for not living their life the way that she lives her life, or the way she thinks that life should be lived. There are also those people who act like they want to help homeless people, but they're actually just doing it for notoriety and attention online, and that's disgusting. We're not talking about, one thing that was mentioned in passing. They're constantly, if they're helping a homeless person or someone in need, you better guarantee that it's going to at least be an Instagram story series. Bare minimum. It's got to be part of content, because they're the type of people who have to say, look at us, look at all the good things we're doing, look how wonderful we are. We are just out here saving lives and, giving away free money. That's the type of people that Brittany and Jordan are. So I think that they have shit for a moral compass, and I don't think that this is going to turn out in a super positive way. Again, I hope that it does. And of course, I'll admit if I'm wrong, but again, all we have is their track record, then that's what I'm going off of for now. When it comes to her entering the realm of family vloggers, I thought for a while this is kind of her last effort to remain relevant on YouTube and build a new audience around her, because she's done the whole fitness thing. She's done the whole lifestyle influencer thing. She's done the whole Christian influencer thing. What else is there to do for her besides become a mommy vlogger? Because each time she pisses off a community, she needs to shed that personality and come up with something new so that she can build a new fan base and new people who don't know anything about her and might not do their own research. So she needs a whole new set of eyes on her and a whole new way to make money. And what we're entering now is the world of white saviors being foster parents and adopting children or a child. The last thing that I want to say about this Brittany Dawn situation is, obviously, as I said, earlier in the video, it's for self-serving reasons. But I think it's also very interesting how this ties into her being sued, and how, it could put her on this pedestal of, look at this wonderful thing that she's done. She might be a scammer, but she is fostering this child that needed a home. So, no matter which avenue you go down, it's self-serving, and she's a terrible person with terrible morals. And I cannot imagine which way this whole thing might go, but like I said, I guess time will tell. Now, before we get into kind of my final point of this video, I also want to remind anyone who maybe you just came across this video randomly and you have no clue who I am. I will say, I think it's amazing. People that foster or adopt or foster to adopt or whatever the situation is, if you have the time, the money, the patience, the resources, the, space in your home, if you have all of those things, that's amazing. However, what I've seen in the age of social media is people fostering in order to build a fan base off of that child, off of, quote, taking the difficult child, taking the child that needed medical attention, taking the child who, quote, nobody else would take. Nobody else could handle this child. So I'm coming in and saving the day. Look at me, pat me on the back, give me a follow, send some things off our Amazon wish list. Oh, so-and-so, it's going to be his first birthday since he's been in our home. He wants blah, blah, blah. Send things to the P.O. box. Just because you're giving this child a safe home, I will say what I said with Alicia Doherty. You can give the child meals, but that doesn't mean that their story of, their mental health or having a difficult connection with their birth parents or whatever, that doesn't mean that you can exchange one for the other. You're signing up to be a foster parent. You're signing up to adopt the child. Bare minimum, you need to feed, clothe, and keep that child safe. So there's nothing savior about that. That's the bare bones minimum of what a parent does for a child. You signed up for the responsibility. So I don't understand the gloating and the look at me thing that I see with so many people on social media. And I want to say, I realize again that it's not everybody, but I do feel like people like Alicia Doherty and Myka and Not Enough Nelsons, families like those, I've seen on the rise because of social media. The last part of this video, I want to go over quickly the social media confidentiality when it comes to fostering children. Because as you can imagine, when you have someone as self-serving as Brittany Dawn and her husband who live their lives on social media, this is why Nikki and Dan's adoption plan fell through. Because what they realized was, for that first year, they wouldn't be able to share the child on social media, so they, bailed out because they're hypocrite cowards and just needed to post the child that badly that they were not going to adopt because they learned that they could not post the child online or on YouTube. With Brittany Dawn, I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Now, could she shock everybody and say, yeah, we're fine, we're not going to post the child, blah, 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 whatever. She could do that, and it would honestly surprise me. But with her, everything is about, how can I get a penny from this situation? How is this going to build my bottom line? What's in it for me? How can I make content around this? How can I do brand deals now that I'm a mom? She's thinking about how is it going to serve her. So I want to talk about this for 1 second. Children in care cannot be photographed for newspaper articles, Facebook, or any publication where their identities would become known to the public. It is the policy of the Department of Children and Families, DCF, that you do not post any pictures of a child in care online. It is also important that you never reveal personal information about your child in care on the internet. Doing so jeopardizes his or her safety and violates his or her right to privacy. Very simple. And this is a rule that's nationwide. It's pretty well known that if you're caring for a child in foster care, whether it's fostering or foster to adopt, you're not able to post that child on social media. And I think that's wonderful. I don't think that a child should come from foster care into a home where they're trying to get acclimated. They might have had, a really tough road to get to this foster parent's home, and then they're having a camera shoved in their face, asking them to participate in TikToks and be part of a morning routine vlog. I don't think that that's fair for the child while they're trying to get adjusted to even processing the thought alone of, these are not my parents and I'm living in their home. That's a lot for kids to process. Just that by itself. I personally really like that they have this kind of as a blanket rule. because there's no reason that someone should bring a child into their home and immediately within the first few days or even the first few weeks think, I want to put this child on the internet. I want them to be part of my internet footprint so badly that I want to put them in a vlog right now. Then we get into kids at school realizing that, you know, they recognize this child. It's a whole can of worms. So I think it's good that this is put in place in order to protect the child, bare minimum, from social media. We all saw how Myka and James Stauffer built a whole series around their adoption. They did an international adoption, and I don't know if Brittany Dawn will do international or if it's just going to be, you know, within the US. But Myka and James monetized the entire thing from the day that they decided they were going to do that through the very end. Everything was monetized. Everything was part of content. They crowdfunded the actual cost of the, you know, adoption process. So everything was self-serving. Nothing was in the child's best interest. And obviously we know how that ended, but they made so much money off that story and off all of the videos and, you know, posts online and brand deals and all of the above. So we'll see what happens with this. I will continue to follow it, and I might have a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows? But I wanted to share my opinions on this. As soon as she made the announcement, my DMs were just like going crazy, and initially I kind of needed like a few minutes to process it, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, is she serious? Or is this just another avenue where she can get people engaging in her content and listening to whatever it is that she's saying? But I guess time will tell. So before I keep babbling, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.